y'all just see that last clip? Well, that's going to be your boy Ked's all-around point guard build. This is the first build that I made in NBA 2k24. And if we're being honest, my build is really like that. Okay. For me. Now, this is a full disclaimer. A lot of YouTubers will say, oh, this is the best build in the game. Oh, this is demigod build. In NBA 2k24, you need to build the player the way that you play the game. That being said, yes, you can copy my build bar for bar, but use my build more so as a template. I'm going to tell you guys why I did things a certain way and kind of how I go about building your own type of build for NBA 2k24. Oh yeah, and please like and subscribe to the channel. We got content weekly guaranteed, maybe even daily. It's your boy Ked. We going up. All right, so you're ready to make your NBA 2k24 build. So the first thing you do is hop into my career. Not exactly. What I did first is a little bit unique, but I went to play now. We go all the way over to blacktop, and the reason I did this is because you can do a 5v5 and you can pick pretty much almost all the point guards in the NBA. And the reason I do this is so that way I can get a feel for how each one of the players moves. You might be asking, Ked, why are you doing that? Well, I want to know what guards have the best moves in the game, are the ones that are easiest for me to use while I'm playing the game. Now trust me, there's a method to this madness. So after you kind of have an idea of what guards you like or whatever position you plan on making, you can go to my career and you don't start making your build just yet. I'll kind of give you an idea why. So I'll load onto my player here. So once you load into the city, what you want to do is hit start, and you want to go to my player and hit animations. Now there's a reason why I'm telling you all this. The reason why I went to blacktop is so that way we can kind of have an idea of what players we like to use, what signature moves we like to use, because those are the same signature moves you get to put on these players. But here's the trick to it. Now, you see I have Kyrie Irving dribble style. I use Kyrie Irving in my team. The way he moves on the court is way better than a lot of other point guards in the game in terms of his explosions and things like that. So now if I go down to Kyrie Irving, what I needed for him, he needs a 90 speed with the ball, and my player needs to be under the height of 6'5". Now this is part of the reason why we went on to blacktop, is because now if we know what moves we want to do, now we have an idea of what size our player needs to be, and also how many skill points we need to have in a certain category to be able to use certain moves. All right, so now we're in the player builder. Once you kind of have an idea what animations you want to use and various different things like that, come in here now and make your player the way it should be made. So my guard is going to be 6'3", 188 pounds with a 6'8" wingspan. And this kind of allows me to get all the different moves that I wanted, and that way they can all be on my build, so that way the build can play the way I need it to play. And I'll break down every single category from finishing, shooting, playmaking, defense, and also the statistics in terms of athleticism, like speed and whatnot. I'll break down each category as to why I did what I did. So when it comes to the finishing on my build, there's only two categories that we really need to pay attention to. It's gonna be my driving dunk and my standing dunk. Our driving dunk is at a 73, so that way I can reach one of the requirements, so that way I can get bronze posterizer so my player can dunk on other players. And then standing dunk needs to be at least a 45, because at 45 you get standing dunk animations, and if your card can get the animations, therefore he can do the moves in the game. So 73 driving dunk for posterizer, and standing dunk needs to be at least a 45, so that way you can get standing dunk animations. Now when it comes to shooting in the game, this is going to vary across for every single player of 2K. Now, I myself, I know that I'm really good at timing my jumper, so I know I don't need the highest three possible to make sure that I shoot consistently, because the higher that your three-pointer or whatever your shooting rating is, the larger your green window is, therefore the easier it is to shoot, quote unquote. But if you're really good at timing your shots, you can kind of take away from that, so that way you can put a little bit more stats somewhere else. So if you guys look at the badges that I have on the screen, one of the ones that I do want to emphasize too is going to be limitless range. I only have that at bronze. Now you can get that up any higher if you need to, but bronze limitless range honestly is pretty good because you can still shoot from half court when you have takeover. Agent 3s is a really good badge. On my other builds, I'm planning on putting that on gold, but on silver it still works perfectly fine. And really I have almost every single other badge gold. So with the 93 pointer, I get a lot of badges gold, and some of the main best badges are going to be on bronze and silver. That's all I really need them at, because if you're really effective in the game, you don't really need them to be that high. Now when it comes to playmaking, this is where I spend a majority of my points, because I need my point guard to be able to move fast, be able to have some of the best dribble moves in the game, and to be able to pass the ball well. Now 70 pass accuracy isn't the best. I probably go at 75 now with knowing what I know. But at the end of the day, try to juice your playmaking as much as possible. So now when it comes down to my guard's defense, he has really good defense in my opinion. Now I don't have the most juice stats, but I literally get every single defensive badge on bronze. I also get bronze rebound chaser, which can be helpful if you're playing by yourself, and I also do get some pretty good interior defense. So ultimately my guard gets a lot of bronze badges, and those really do help when it comes down to playing defense and when you're playing NBA 2k24. So now let's kind of get into why my all-around build is really like that. So when it comes down to finishing, if we had to rate my finishing out of 10, we get bronze posterizer, standing dunks, we get a lot of bronze and silver badges. I would give myself like a 6.5, almost a 7 out of 10. because when it comes to finishing, we're not top tier, but we're most definitely not bottom tier. There are some builds out there that have no finishing, that can't finish at the rim, but my build, if it comes down to it, he can get on that rim if need be. Most definitely a 7 out of 10. Now, if we go to our shooting badges here, I'll rank my shooting out of 10 like an 8, almost like an 8.5. More, I'll stay at an 8. Reason I say an 8 is because we get gold badges across the board. As you guys can tell, we get gold badges in pretty much every single category. The only 2 categories that I wish that could be a little bit higher would be Agent 3, so I make that a gold, or maybe even just make Limitless Range silver. But at the end of the day, my build can shoot from wherever I need to shoot from. If you have takeover, we can still shoot from half court, no problem. The way the build is set up right now, this is perfectly fine, honestly. Now, the chef's kiss of my build is going to be the finishing, the playmaking. That's going to be a 10 out of 10 because I get all the animations I want. Well, I'll give myself a 9.5 out of 10. The only thing I'll make better in terms of what my playmaking is going to be my pass accuracy. So 70 is viable. It can get the job done, but if you go like 75 or 80, that helps out your teammates a little bit more, makes your passes a little bit faster. But 70 is still good and works for my build, and I'll still be using this build regardless. But when I do my rebirth, I'll probably increase that to about 75. So I give myself a 9.5 or 9.9 out of 10, respectfully. And then next, when we talk about defense, now, there's a lot of builds out there that don't get these badges. And the badges are a really big thing when it comes down to the game. Like, of course, you do want to have higher stats, but at the end of the day, getting badges causes you to get animations, thus making plays. So ultimately, if we had to rate my defense out of 10, I give myself a 7.5 out of 10. Now, if we were able to get silver badges across the board, I give myself almost 8.5, 9, because I'm not a lockdown. Maybe I have a lockdown on my team or whatever it may be, but having bronze badges still makes your build very viable and something that all builds should have. You should have defensive badges on your build regardless of what the case is. And if we were to remake this build, which I'll do another video on, I might even go silver defensive badges and do no finishing. Even though I think finishing makes the game a lot easier because dunking is like literally brain dead. But at the end of the day, having this defensive badge is most definitely going to give me a like 7 or 8. You know what I'm saying? This most definitely gets the job done. Last but not least, we're going to talk about my stamina and all my different athletic ability. Now, 85 speed is great. My build is flying around the court. Let's be honest. My build is flying around the court. 89 acceleration. We have 60 strength, so we ain't no little boy. We've been in the gym a little bit. We got 70 vert, which can help out with dunking, also getting rebounds and things like that. And we have 99 stamina. So across the board, if we look at my build, bro, my build almost has no flaws. The only thing that we're wishing is that, I want to be better in a certain realm. If you want to be better in a certain place, take down from another category and boost another category based off of how you play. But I wanted to build that can literally do everything. He's, in terms of stamina and all that, he's great. In terms of defense, he can get the job done. In terms of playmaking, chef's kiss. In terms of shooting, don't leave me open. Now in terms of finishing, I'm gonna get on that rim. This is my all-around build.